Hey, how's it going, everyone? Battling a little bit of a cold right now, so bear with me. So, in today's video, I wanted to talk about failure. Yes, failing at things. Who doesn't love a success story? Who doesn't want to be a success? Everybody does. No one wants to fail, and it's often a topic that a lot of people shy away from, whether it's because they're just embarrassed or they're ashamed and they don't want to talk about it. Even when you like on social media, if you're on Facebook or whatever other social media platform, you may hear some tragic stories and people talking about it on Facebook, bitching and complaining. But a lot of times when there's something that they want to talk about, when a person wants to talk about getting a job promotion, getting a new car, a new house, something like that, that's often considered a success, and they want to talk about that, and which is fine. But I think realizing that failure is more common than you think, it's not always a bad thing as long as you can learn from it. Uh, Case in point, if you aspire to be in another person's position, a person that's very successful, you may not know how much failure they've endured to get to where they are today. Just because that person doesn't broadcast it and doesn't have a personal ebook or a best-selling book, that person, you may assume, oh yeah, they probably worked a little bit hard, but they they're so lucky, they're so lucky. Now, luck does play a little bit of a role, and there are exceptions to where some people are just at the right place at the right time. But for the vast majority of people, um, you're gonna have some failures along the way. That old Chinese proverb, I believe, fall 7 times, get up 8. Also, I'm not a historian, but if you read about Abraham Lincoln, the guy on the $5 bill, right? Freed the slaves, Emancipation Proclamation, Civil War, one of the most iconic presidents in the United States in history. If you look up his past and what he did to eventually get to become president, he had a lot of failures. Benjamin Franklin, the list just goes on and on. But if these people had quit, they probably wouldn't have gotten to where they are historically. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone's going to be on the $5 bill, so to speak, but speaking of success, you're going to have a lot of failures along the way. I try to relate to you guys and gals, and on a much smaller scale. Uh, you guys know I wrestled in high school. I was pretty terrible. And then I worked my butt off and became I would like to think, an okay wrestler. Um, Academically, I was a little bit behind the 8 ball due to my upbringing was education was in the formative years, so I felt like I was playing catch up a little bit, but I'm not going to use that as a total excuse, because also I was pretty lazy in high school, and it wasn't until my mid 20s where something clicked, where it's like I got to get my act together, and then I actually applied myself. But I had a lot of failures along the way. I had classes that I didn't do well in, and then you feel like you're doing well, and then you don't do too good, and then you have to keep grinding and grinding. Personal relationships, I've had excuse me, I've had sorry, I'm dealing with the cold, had some bad breakups. That could be considered a failure. Or let's say you're married and then you get divorced, or twice divorced. People might view that as a failure. Some people might say, well, it's out of your control, but nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is you're going to have a lot of these failures, and just because you may not hear about it from other people along the way, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And don't get down on yourself if you see someone that you aspire to be And don't get down on yourself and be like, oh man, I'm dealing with all this crap, and this person's got it made, they got the house, they got this. I mean, in my case, being where I am in my life, um, I'm not balling, but I'm comfortable. I'm happily married. Have my health. I I'm bought my second house years ago. I live in a great neighborhood, a great public education school system. My commute to work is less than 20 minutes. I'm very blessed. I have my friends and family. I don't do drugs. I have, but yeah, so I don't have a drinking problem, and I'm very blessed to live in the United States of America. So some people might consider that a success. I want to still attain more, but I'm very grateful. But I did have to work my butt off to where I am today, and I can't remember if I talked about it earlier, but some people say that, oh well, you might just be lucky, you might just be lucky. And I think luck does play a little bit a part of it. Even such things as like YouTube, and being successful on YouTube. No, there's a lot of great channels out there that are very successful, but sometimes getting like a viral video, and I mean, I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I'm not saying I'm deserving of a viral video. I don't think it'll ever happen, but sometimes just being at the right place at the right time works. And real quick, or I was gonna say, luck does play a part, like I said, but uh, working really hard and putting yourself in the right position will increase your chances of finding that luck. A real quick example before I depart is a struggling comedian. Let's say a comedian's, going from circuit to circuit, show to show, and they're not, they're successful, well, not successful, they're making people laugh, but they're not catching their break. And let's say one night they're just, on another show, and a countless show, another show, another show, another show, and then by chance, let's say, I don't know, Dave Chappelle or some other comedian just spots them and makes a connection. Next thing you know, they start moving up the ladder. Another comedian that's pretty salty and jealous might say, oh, he was lucky because Chappelle was there. Well, that may be true to an extent, but that comedian, if they weren't grinding all the time and weren't going from venue to venue to venue and putting themselves out there, that increased that person's chances, that comedian's chances of being explored and considering and being touted as lucky. So if you're a comedian, or any, as an example, the comedian, if you're staying at home and you're moping around, you're definitely not going to get lucky. Chappelle's not going to show up at your door. So that's my 2 cents for this video. These videos are getting pretty long, so hopefully you endured that. So if you're in that situation where you're feel like a failure, just know that, just keep trying, keep grinding, just get tough. Okay, don't roll up into a ball. Just stick with it. Life's going to throw you a lot of wrenches, and things are not always going to go according to plan. Success is not always going to just be a straight line. You're going to just, that bell curve, up and down. And when the down hits, it really does suck. I've been there. I've been through some tough times as well. But if you stick with it, you might get a little bit of luck, a little bit of hard work, and you'll get to where you are. Excuse me. So that's it. That's my video on failure. And when it happens, just stay tough. Embrace it. Don't shy away from it. Try to learn from it, and it'll make you stronger, and hopefully it'll get you closer to whatever goals you have in life. That's my time. Bye.